In this demonstration, I am going to show you how to set up your document for your portfolio in InDesign. InDesign is a program that's used by professional magazine, book editors, and content creators for publication. And your portfolio should be a professional-looking document when you're done, as long as you took some professional-looking pictures and do your layout and your work in it in a professional manner. So you're essentially making a photo book, a book that showcases your photos and your abilities. So I've opened up InDesign already. You can see that it's open. Here's the interface. You have all the file menu and everything. So I'm going to click on File, and we're going to create a new document. And even though it's going to be a book, we're not going to create a book or a library. We're going to create a document. And so go ahead and do that. And then we have this new document dialog box. And we're going to tell how many pages we want. We want 20 pages, so I'm going to type 20 in that box. And we're going to make sure they're facing pages. We're not going to worry about this primary text frame. And the intent is print, although we could make it web or digital publishing, and we can go and change this if we want at any time. Right now, we're going to intend it for print. And we have, you want to do the width of it. Now, you'll notice the width of this is showing in what's called picas, and that's a measuring system that was used for print when they would actually do printing things. And this is, you're more familiar with inches. Now, I'm going to, InDesign smart enough, so if I type in a width of 8.5 inches and I type IN, InDesign knows that that means inches, and 8.5 inches is 51 picas. And 66 picas is actually 11 inches. So if I do that, I'm hitting tab after I type it in so that it goes to the next window. But you notice that 11 inches high is 66 picas. So in other words, there are 6 picas in an inch. So it's good to know that. At any rate, we have columns. Let's just stick with one column for our document right now. Again, if you need to, you can change it. The gutter. The gutter is the part when you open up a book and you have facing pages. The gutter is the space inside, in the middle, in between there. And in the gutter, sometimes it helps to increase the depth of the gutter, because sometimes when you print stuff and you open up the middle of a book, the things you want to see get stuck down in the gutter. You don't want that. So I just increase the gutter size a little bit to 1 pica 4. So that's essentially an inch, a little more than, well, it's not even quite an inch, but it's, let's see, 6 picas in an inch. Yeah, it just deepens the gutter a little bit. Well, I'm going to leave the margins alone right now, and I'm not going to worry about this bleed and slug stuff. So I'm going to click OK, and it's going to create a 20-page document. Now, the first page of any document, I'm going to click on pages right here. The first page of any document is just on this side of the book. So this represents the book being open. This represents the first page. And if we slide down here, you'll notice the very last page is on this side, because that would be like the back of the book, right? So the first page is on the right side. The last page is on the left side when you close the book. So I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, I would like to edit this first page. I'm going to show you maybe three basic things to do with this. First of all, I'm going to create a title. I'm going to start right there in the corner, and I'm going to drag it inside my margins. And I'm going to type Mike's Portfolio. And I don't want it on the left. I kind of want it centered. So I'm going to use this right here to center the alignment of that. Now, if you don't see that right there, you can go to Window and choose Paragraph. Well, let's go to Type. Let's see, where's my Type tool? Type in Tables and go to Paragraph, and it gives you the same stuff, and you can just drag that over here. And then when you want to see paragraphs, you just click on that, and then you can use the tools right there. Now, I'm going to use 2 keys and then a third key to increase the size of this. And you want to make sure that your text is selected. So I'm just clicking and dragging with my mouse across there. I'm going to hold down the Control and the Shift key, which I'm doing right now with my right hand, and then with my left hand, 2 buttons over next to the the slash and between the slash and the M key, are the greater than, less than buttons, which is, the period and the comma button also. And I'm going to hit the greater than button, and that increases the size. Every time I press it, it increases the size of it. Now, if I go bigger than it'll fit into there, it's going to start cutting that word down. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to come back down because I want it to show all the text that I'm using. So once I do that, now I can click outside of there, and now I have Mike's portfolio at the top. That was using the text tool right there, the type tool, text tool, whatever. Now if I click on the selection tool, whenever you want to select something to delete it or to move it or do something with it, you use that selection tool. The shortcut for it is V, and then you can drag that and you can move it wherever you want. See that? So, but I'm going to just leave it here at the top. I'm actually going to move it down. I'm going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard. While that's selected, I can use the arrow key. You can tell that it's selected because it has these little selection handles around it. If I click outside of it with my selection tool selected, then it's not selected anymore. And when I press my arrow buttons, it doesn't do anything. But when I click in it, which I just did, now I use my arrow buttons and I can move it around. If I hold down the shift key while I move the arrow buttons, it moves it down like 5 or 6 pixels at a time, or 5 or 10. I'm not sure what it does in this application. But then I can move it around. And then if I want it to just move 1 pixel at a time, I just use the arrow key without the shift key. So now I have Mike's portfolio here at the top, which I'm going to move down about 10 pixels or so, because I don't want it all the way at the top. Now I'm going to create some area, some places to put some pictures. But I'm not going to put the pictures in yet. I could just drag some pictures in here, but I want to control the size that the pictures show up in here. So I'm just going to click and drag this frame tool. I don't know if you noticed that I'm going to do this again. I selected this frame tool right here. And this is where I want to make frames. Notice there's some other tools. If I hold it down, I have this ellipse frame, polygon frame tool. But I'm just going to use a regular rectangle frame tool. I'm going to start right here, put my mouse right on that line, the margin line. And then I'm going to drag across. Now I haven't let go of my mouse yet. So while my mouse is held down with my other hand, I'm going to press the right arrow key. And notice it divided into 2 frames. I'm going to press it one more time, and now it's divided that into 3 frames. So I'm going to make 3 frames that I can put pictures in. There they are. Now you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Now, well, I'm going to put some pictures in it. So I'm going to go, I'm going to open up a program called Bridge, and hopefully that's on your computer now. Here's Bridge. I have a whole bunch of pictures here in Bridge. And I'm going to grab a couple of pictures. I have lots of people that I've taken pictures of. Let's see. Oh, here's a picture of this guy that's this awesome basketball player. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to move this over so I can see my pictures a little better. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of go over here. So let's see. I'm going to move that over to the side so I can do it and go to Bridge. Now I can see both apps a little better. So I'm going to grab, where's that basketball player guy? Right there. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to move it over right here and throw it in that window. Now, you can't see the picture. Well, it's probably because you're only looking at some of the black area right here. So I'm going to click in here, and I want that picture to kind of fit in that window. If I click in here, you can see that, maybe you can't see it right now, but there's this auto fit. There's this fit content that you can do. I can either right click on here and tell it to fit. It's like fit the frame proportionally, and then it fits that picture right in there. Notice how that works. I want to put something in here, so I'm going to go to Bridge again, and I want to put this picture of Phil Mickelson right here. So I'm going to grab that and put it here. And again, it's too big. So I could go right click on it and go fitting and then fit frame proportionally. Or I can go right here and tell it to do it right here. Fit content proportionally. And there's Phil Mickelson. Yeah, right there. And then I'm going to do one more. And maybe I should do, let's see, there's a picture of Britney Spears when I used to be a bodyguard for her. And let me put that right here. I'm going to do it again, fit. I can go to fitting. This time I'm going to use the menu again, fit frame proportionally. And, oh, I didn't do the right one. I chose the wrong one. So fit content proportionally. There we go. And, oh wait, that's the wrong one. I don't like that. So I'm going to go in and choose the picture. Notice I can click right here and it chooses the picture. Notice the picture is selected. But if I click right here, it selects the frame. So I'm going to click on the picture. I think I just got to put my hand in the middle of it. It selects the picture. I'm going to delete that picture. And I'm going to go to bridge again, and I'm going to choose the other picture of that. Let's see if I have it here. I don't have it right there. Let's see. Taking too long. So what did I just use? Well, I should have chosen these beforehand. I'll just use this one. And notice that just fit it proportionally because it used the same command that I used for the last one because it's still selected right there. Actually, now it's there. Fit frame proportionally. There we go. That's what I want to do. All right, so we got these three pictures. And, you know, it looks all right. I kind of think that this should be closer to that. And maybe I'll put some kind of graphic up in here later. I think there's too much of a gap between those two. I could just take the whole thing that I just put and just see how I selected it all. I just clicked right here and I dragged over all of it. It selected everything, and then I can just move it all together. That leaves me room for doing some other things down here, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this text tool, and I am going to create a text box, but I want it to be 2 columns because I want to have some writing in it. So I hit the right arrow key before I let go of the mouse, and boom, now I have a text box. Now I can see, I'm going to see what the text looks like if I put it in there, but I'm going to use just some some text just to see what it looks like. So I'm going to do some fill with placeholder text. That's what it looks like. It just puts this Latin gibberish right there, and that's starting to look like a like a little newsletter on the front page. But I don't think this makes a totally good front page, but it gets the idea of how to start doing this kind of work. If you want to, I'm going to show you in a future video how to do some other things. But for now, I'm going to stop right there. This is what you should have for now on your front page. You can edit any of this later. When you're done with it, you should save it. First time you save something, you use the save menu, and you should save it in your InDesign. In your digital photography folder, and then inside that folder, there's your portfolio folder. You should save this in here, and your folder, your InDesign document, which you should type right here, should be called Your Names and Portfolio. So if it were my portfolio, I'd say Mike's Portfolio, and I'd type it right here, Mike's Portfolio. And I would save it in my digital media folder, and then inside that folder, my portfolio folder. And then I click Save. That's it for now. I'm going to teach you a few more things about how to use InDesign later.